Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is 612th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube. Straight away you'll see this is fought on a grassy flat map and a winter scenario. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Dionysos. We haven't seen Dionysos for a long time now, so it's nice to see him back on the battlefield. Now he's got 13 pikes and 7 archers. Quick look at the upgrades on his pikes. And you'll see he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his pikeman. But of course the big thing you'll notice is he's got no cavalry. Okay, so he's got no cavalry at all, but it's 13 pikes, 7 archers and no cavalry. Now I wonder if that could make a difference during the course of the battle, not bringing any cavalry. Be interesting to see as the battle unfolds. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks, who has unusually bought the Macedon faction. Now Steve's got 14 pikes, 2 archers and 2 cavalry. Okay, 14 pikes, 2 archers, 2 cavalry. And as I say, very unusual to see him bring Macedon. We haven't seen him for a long time. He's got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. As I say, we haven't seen Steve for a long time, so it's nice to see him back on the RTW battlefield. And if you notice, his cavalry have just got gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. Okay, so actually it's very unusual to see 2 Macedonians on the same team there. Unusual to see that. So it'll be interesting to see how well these two work together there with their Macedonian armies. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Uther. Now Uther has got 12 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, 12 infantry, 6 cavalry, and I think he's got a peasant unit as well. And if you look at the upgrades on his infantry there, he's only got 6 upgrades, gold shield, gold attack, I think, on his infantry. Yeah, some of his infantry I see have only got 4 upgrades on. So I'm presuming that would be gold attack, gold defense and an attack there. And as I say, most of his infantry are just gold shield, gold attack, which makes me think he has spent his money on his cavalry. So it'll be interesting to see what upgrades he's actually got on his cavalry here. And I think if you look there, I think he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. As we know, this cavalry is really good with just gold shield, gold attack. You put 2 experience stripes on and you kind of got super cavalry there. So that's Uther's army there. And our last teammate is myself, Spartan Commander, who's got his very old Greek cities army of 14 Spartans and 5 mixed archers there. Okay, 14 Spartans, 5 mixed archers. To have a look there, you can see I've got 3 Cretan archers that can do long range and a lot of damage. And very efficient archers there. And I've got 2 of the cheap short range archers. But if they're handled correctly, they can be quite effective on the battlefield, as we've seen in other battle videos there. So we've got quite a diverse team there. We've got Macedon, Rome and Greek cities, and this should be a great battle for you to watch, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I think we'd have a look at some old-fashioned, old-school and possibly out-of-date battle formations and a brand new modern way of doing things. Okay, so if you look at my Spartan formation there, this is a formation I might have been using 14, 15 years ago, was very effective in its day, but it's very old-school, very old-fashioned, and is this formation possibly out of date these days? Okay, this formation is very, very old and possibly out of date. Okay, now the next battle formation I'm going to show you is Steve Longshanks. He's also an old school player too. And you'll see there a very, very old-fashioned battle formation there. As I say, these battle formations were really good in their day, but battle formations have evolved like tactics on Rome Total War. And Steve and my formations here, as I say, very old-fashioned, very old school, maybe out of date. Now I'm going to show you the modern way to use spears and pikes that I see a lot of players using these days. If you notice here, can you see how Dionysus has got his main core there of his pikes? There's 6-man core unit there, if you like. But look how he's got his other units spread out. Look how they're just spread out there. How he's got his pike units out there, very flexible. Look at the difference between Steve's old school, old-fashioned battle formation and the new modern way of using spears and pikes. I see a lot of players using spears and pikes factions like this in the new modern way. Very flexible there. So players watching this, which type of formation would you use? The old school, old-fashioned one, or the new modern flexible one? Should be interesting to see these two battle formations in action. And here is the other team. We have brother member Barclayman, who's got one of his factions of choice, and that is Pontus. And Barclayman's got 14 pikes and 6 chariots. Okay, 14.6 chariots. You have a look at the upgrades on his pikes. 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And as I say, this is Barkyman, one of Barkyman's faction of choices. And there you got his 6 chariots. Remember, these chariots got massive attack specifications. They bring a big fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops, making them more susceptible to routing. But, of course, these are a double-edged sword. If they run amok, they will kill both friend and foe alike, and will become a menace to both friend and foe alike. And strangely, in amok mode, they seem to be stronger than in normal mode. Very strange, that. So that'd be interesting to see how Barkyman handles that Pontus army. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Aurelius. Now, Aurelius has only got 8 infantry, 5 archers, and 6 cavalry, and a peasant unit. Okay, so only 8 infantry. Not a great deal. Okay, he's put good upgrades on his infantry. He's put an experience stripe on all of his infantry units there. Remember that experience stripes can really help infantry in the battle towards the end. Plus, he's got an eagle unit. Plus, he's got an infantry general. So he's got a lot of morale in that army with the upgrades they've got, plus the infantry general and the eagle unit. A lot of morale there. Quick look at the upgrades on his archers. Oh my gosh, 7 upgrades on these elite archers. Okay, an experience strike, gold shield, gold attack. Now you might wonder why he's got those archers and why they're so well upgraded. Well, of course, we've got 2 armies of Macedonians there with the big 120 man units that are very, very susceptible to archer damage. So that's why he's bought those archers. Quick look at the upgrades of his cavalry. And what's he got on there? He got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry. Okay, so this, make no mistake, this is a custom army build for this battle, but only 8 infantry, even with good upgrades on, even with really good morale. Is that enough for the 31k battlefield? I guess we'll have to see. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Legion 22. Now, Legion's got 16 spears, 2 slingers, and 2 fast-moving cavalry units. Okay, so 16 Sacred Band spearmen there. And here you can see he's got 2 fast-moving. Okay, you got 2 fast-moving general armoured bodyguards there with gold shield, gold attack on. And don't forget, these guys have got 2 hit points as well. Now, can you think why he's bought 2 fast-moving cavalry units? Well, I'll tell you why he's bought those. Because he's looking to target my archers. He knows my Greek city army. He knows I've got no cavalry. So what he wants to do right at the beginning of the battle is run those 2 fast-moving cavalry units over there and take out as many of my archers as he can. Make no mistake about that, that's why he's bought those units there. And during the course of the battle, he'll be doing exactly the same, trying to take our archers out with those units. Their last teammate is Brotherhood member TR, and TR has got 13 infantry, 1 archer, and 6 cavalry. And this is TR's faction of choice. If you look at the cataphracts upgrades here, you'll see they've got mixed upgrades. Some of his cataphracts got 7 upgrades, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. And some of his cataphracts have got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. And remember, we call these guys the tanks of the ancient world because they're armoured from head to foot. Okay, so a very diverse army there. You've got, as I say, you've got Pontus, you've got Rome, you've got Carthage, and we got Seleucid there. So as I say, a very diverse army. In fact, the whole battle is a very diverse battle if you look at all the different factions. Okay, at this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a cavalry and chariot count up here. Okay, so let's have a look at the enemy team first. That's 6 cavalry there for Seleucid, 2 cavalry for Carthage, so that's 8 cavalry so far. Okay, 6 cavalry for Aurelius, so that's 14 cavalry so far, and then 6 chariots for Pontus. So the enemy team have got a mixture of 20 cavalry and chariots there. Okay, so they've got 20, as I say, a mixture of cavalry and chariots. Now that could be a deciding factor in this battle, so please remember they've got 20 mixture cavalry and chariots. Now we've got 2 cavalry there. Okay, and then we've got Uther's 6 cavalry. So the entire cavalry in our team are 8 units. Okay, so we've got 8 cavalry units against 20 chariot and cavalry units of the enemy team. Make no mistake, that can make a big difference, especially toward the end of the battle. Okay, right at the very, very early part of this battle here, you can see, as we thought, Legion's taken his 2 fast-moving armoured general cavalry units there with their good upgrades and 2 hit points across the other side of the battlefield here. Make no mistake, he is looking to take my archers out there. Okay, that's what he's trying to do. Now, Uther, who's on this flank with his cavalry, my guess is he's going to spot that, and he's going to look to block those 2 cavalry units hitting my archers there, okay? Make no mistake, Legion's going to bring them around the flank there and try and smash into my archers and take them out. Now, Uther's aware of that, and that's why he's moved his cavalry there to try and defend my my archers against those 2 fast-moving enemy cavalry units there. Make no mistake there, Legion, that's what Legion wanted to do there, is target my archers. So this is a really great bit of covering teamwork by Uther here. He could see what was happening. He knows Legion's tactics with his fast-moving cavalry, and that's why Uther's brought his cavalry over here to cover my archers as we both run over to the centre there to team up with our Macedonian teammates. Okay, so as I say, nice bit of cover there by Uther to protect my archers. Make no mistake, Legion there will be a bit disappointed, but make no mistake, he will also keep his powder dry, if you know what I mean by that, and he'll use those fast-moving cavalry units to a very effective use later on in the battlefield here. Now here you can see Uther backing his cavalry off. He doesn't want to really take on these cataphracts. He's moving his cavalry there towards his infantry there for infantry support if the cataphracts attack his cavalry. Remember, those cataphracts, the alt weapon, is effective against armour maces there. As I say, both Uther and myself are moving our armies over towards our Macedonian allies now. And as I say, Uther's using his cavalry in a very tactical covering way there against the enemy troops there. As I say, make no mistake though, Legion might be disappointed he didn't get my archers at this stage of the battle, but he will be looking to try and get my archers and our allies' archers with those 2 fast moving cavalry units during the course of the battle. Make no mistake about that, he's an expert at using those units, as we've seen in other battle videos. Okay, at this stage of the battle you can see that it's a bit of an archer fight, and here you can see Aurelius has brought his peasant unit in open order there forward of his archers to try and attract our archer fire onto that peasant unit. If we've just got our archers on auto fire, then of course we'll be wasting our expensive Cretan archers' arrows on that cheap peasant unit, which is what Aurelius would want there. So he always uses a peasant unit extremely well to soak up enemy missiles in any of the battles that he's in there, and once again using that peasant unit there very effectively. Here you can see Dionysos here using this new type of battle formation that a lot of players are using now, making the most of the flexibility of this new battle formation. Very effective, very efficient. As I say, battle formations have evolved on Rome Total War like the tactics have. And I think for a 17-year-old game, for tactics and strategies and battle formations to still be evolving, I think that just goes to show how great this game is. And as I say, any ex-RTW players that watch our battles, as you can see, we still have great battles. Come on and join us. Okay, so here are those 2 fast-moving cavalry units of Legion as we looked at earlier. Once again, looking to hit archers. Let's just pause the game for a second. Now, he's so cheeky with those units there. It wouldn't surprise me if he tried getting in behind our Macedonian ally to get to my archers with those 2 fast-moving units there. If you notice, I'm moving my Spartans across there to try and close that option off. But he is very cheeky with those units, as we've seen him in other battle videos. And make no mistake there, he will be looking to take out our archers. But this time he decided to back the cavalry units off as he's seen me move my Spartans forward there to try and close that avenue of attack off there. Okay. Now if you notice here, can you see Aurelius' battle formation there is just a straight line. Of course, he doesn't need a real if you like, special battle formation there. He doesn't need pilot shield units or anything like that, because obviously he's facing Macedon here, and that's why he hasn't bothered with you know, the normal Roman formation there. He's just quite happy to have them in a long line there where he may be looking to flank enemy units and things like that. Alright, let's just pause the game for a second here. So let's say you can see Dionysos' core army there of 6 units, and look how he can spread his Macedonian pikemen out across the battlefield. Look at the area that he's covering there with his Macedonian pikemen there. So as I say, that is the new modern way of using pike and spear units up against the old school way of Steve and myself there. But as I say, very, very flexible formation there that he's making the most of. As I say, at the moment it's an archer battle here between the enemy Julii cavalry. Remember, they had 7 upgrades up against our Cretan archers there. So, as I say, a bit of an archer battle going on there. And it's important we win that archer battle, because don't forget, If they win it, their archers then can concentrate on our allies' big 120-man Macedonian units. Once again, you can see Aurelius running that peasant unit forward. He's just going to stand there hoping to attract expensive arrows onto that peasant unit. But I'm guessing that my allies and myself there, we won't be targeting that peasant unit. We'll be more looking to target the enemy archers there. Here you are, you can see that the enemy have formed up their army there. Their team there is formed up, and it'll be interesting to see how they use their armies during the course of the battle. Here you can see Aurelius is bringing his Julii Roman army back towards his allies, while he takes his cavalry out to the flank there. If you notice the darker area of the map there, that is long grass, and he can hide his units in the long grass if he wanted to, but I think he'll realise that we spotted that he's moved his cavalry out there, so hiding them wouldn't be any use. Okay, at this stage of the battle, on our left flank, you can see Uther's 6 cavalry units now are facing Legion's 2 fast-moving cavalry units, plus TR's tanks of the ancient world, the Seleucid cataphracts, plus Pontus chariots here. So as I say, the chariot and cavalry count on the other team was massive in comparison to our 8 cavalry, and it could well that could well now feature in the battle. Okay, here you can see Dionysus here is over on the right flank. Do you notice that he's moving pike units over here to help Uther against that massive cavalry force facing him? Great teamwork there by Dionysus there, taking his Macedonian units over there. As I say, with this new way of people using Macedon and other spear units, this new type of flexible battle formation, I think it's a really evolved formation there. And I think that it seems to be very effective to me as well. Here you are, you can see TR moving towards Uther there. Now TR's got an unusual Seleucid army, I think, as he's gone for the Legionnaires rather than the pikemen. If we just have a closer look there. Let's pause the game for a second. So to say here, he's gone for the Cellucid Legionnaires. Now remember, these Legionnaires can throw pilers, but they're not really anywhere as good as the urban cohorts. So that's why people don't usually bring Legionnaire armies. They usually bring the pikes. So this is an unusual army build here. He's got 1 pike unit. He's got a levy pike unit there. That's a cheap pike unit, which you'll probably use obviously to soak up enemy pilers there, but to see a Seleucid all Legionnaire army basically is very unusual. But I've noticed that TR has been persevering with this army, and as this is definitely his faction of choice at this time, and as I say, he's really persevering with it, and he seems to do quite good. But as I say, he's up against the urban cohorts of Uther there, so it'll be interesting to see how those Seleucid troops do. As I say, he's moved that levy spear unit forward, look, to attract Uther's pilers there. As I say, that's a piler shield unit there, and that's the only reason he's bought that. You can see that his 1 archer unit there is targeting Uther's units there. Can you see that Uther spread his piler shield units out there a little bit? Okay, he's going to be throwing pilers into this levy pikeman unit here, and that unit hasn't got very good morale. That's why it's a cheap unit, and it wouldn't surprise me if it routed. There you go, it's already routed there. So TR is going to have to make one of his Legionnaires a piler shield unit there. Okay, so as I say, over here on the left flank, Dionysus, as I say, very good team player as he is, has brought his pikemen over here to try and counter enemy cavalry and chariots here facing Uther. Okay, so as I say, great bit of teamwork there. And as I say, don't forget the enemy have got a 20 cavalry and chariot advantage over our 8 cavalry. So as I say, that could well make a difference towards the end of the battle. Okay, you can see Steve Longshanks moving forward with his Macedonians. Now as we know, Steve can be a very aggressive attacking player there, and as you can see him moving forward with his Macedonian units. As I say, very, very rare to see Steve bring Macedonia, so it'd be interesting to see how well he does during the course of the battle. Right, let's pause the game for a second. So as you can see here, Aurelius has just got his units in a long formation there, if you like, just a long line, ready to throw pilers into Steve's units. As I say, these 2 fast-moving units of Legion here, slowly moving around the rear of the battlefield. They're looking to crash into my archers. You see, if Uther is watching the enemy cavalry in front of him, he may well miss those 2 fast-moving units coming in to my archers there. As I say, let's see, he'll be watching the chariots and those Seleucid cataphracts out the front there. He may well miss those fast-moving general units there coming in behind my archers there. So as I say, Legion will try and take our archers out with those units. That's the only reason he brings those units. Okay, so here you can see Steve running forward here to engage the enemy Julii army there. Now you can see Aurelius pulling his Julii Roman troops back towards his Pontus ally there. Okay, so he wants to have Pontus pikes right up behind him there, because if Steve attacks there, then Steve would be fighting two armies. Now don't forget that Julii army is very well upgraded. Okay, there's only 8 infantry, I believe, in that Julii army, but they've all got an experience stripe on. Okay, so you can see Steve moving forward there. Now watch these two fast-moving cavalry units of Legion, and bang! And he smashed into my archers. If you remember earlier, Uther thwarted his attempts to get to my archers there, but he just bided his time. Look, Legion just bided his time with those two fast-moving general units there, and now would probably take my archers out and our allies' archers, and it wouldn't surprise me if he got some really good kills because of that. Okay, so as you can see here, Steve really being aggressive and moving his Macedonians forward here into the Pontus forward battle line there. And as you can see, Barclay man there bringing the rest of his Pontus units forward there to engage Steve's Macedonian units there. And as I say, you can see that Aurelius' Julii troops there are being pushed into the fray as well. So at this time, you see, Steve is now fighting two armies, the Julii and the Pontus army there. Okay, now I remember Steve was saying about he's a bit worried about fighting two armies during the course of the battle, but I'm a little bit hesitant to commit my Spartans, and the reason for that is because I know that the Carthaginians are waiting for me to commit my Spartans, and he's going to come in from my flank. Over here on our left flank here, look at the cavalry, the Seleucid cataphracts, Aurelius' cavalry, and the chariots there, all coming round our left flank. Look at that massive cavalry and chariot advantage they've got over Uther's 6 cavalry. Okay, so make no mistake here, I believe our left flank is looking to be hit hard. This is where the hammer blow is going to fall the hardest, I think. Look at TR's infantry there. He'll probably move in to pin and hold Uther's army there with that massive lot of cavalry and chariots come around the flank and smash into the flank. Of course, they'll have to watch out for Dionysus' pikes, but as I say, they've got a massive advantage there on the left flank. Meanwhile here, you can see Dionysus is probably going to get some of those units there of his flexible battle formation to come into the side of the enemy Julii and Pontus pikemen there. Okay, but as I say, I know Steve at this stage of the battle was saying, I'm fighting two armies here, and as I say, I was a little bit hesitant to commit my Spartans, because I know the moment I send my Spartans in there, all that Carthage army is going to come in on my flank. So as I say there, Steve here, say fighting two armies. They've got Dionysus, his pikes coming in from the flank, but Steve was really worried about that. So now I'm going to have to commit my Spartans here to help Steve there against the Julii and Pontus there. And I know the moment I do that, that Carthage is going to come in on our flank. Okay, make no mistake about that. Legion to be watching this situation very carefully with his Carthage sacred band spearmen, and he will be looking to move in as soon as I commit my Spartans there. But I have to do that because, as I say, Steve is fighting two armies at the moment, and so I'm going to have to commit my Spartans. As I say, look at the long pikes of Steve's Macedonians there, keeping those Julii infantry at bay. But make no mistake, those Julii infantry would have thrown a lot of pilers into Steve's units there, so a lot of his forward units will be weakened. Okay, you can see now that I'm committing my Spartans. I'm going to come through Steve's pikes and attack the enemy Julii and the Pontus pikemen there with my spears. And you notice as soon as I commit my Spartans, can you see Legion there has moved his units forward. Here you can see Dionysus is pushing his units in on the flank there of the enemy there. But as I say, the moment I committed my Spartans, you could see Legion move his Carthage sacred band forward, and he will now, make no mistake, attack our left flank there. He's going to move in from left flank. There you go. Look, you can see he's going to bring units in now to commit those units there to attack my fighting Spartans and Steve's pikemen there. And don't forget, those Carthage sacred band units there are very well upgraded, so they're going to be a real force to contend with there coming in on our flank. This could be a make or break of the battle here, by the way, and I think it's a very, very important part of the battle here. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second. So over on our left flank, Here you can see that the Seleucid general has sent some of his cataphracts in. He's pinning and holding Uther's forward units with his infantry. He's got other infantry units he's got ready to pull in there. Okay, the cataphracts there, the other cataphracts are locked and loaded, ready to come in. You can see Aurelius' well-upgraded cavalry is probably going to come around the flank with the chariots. See the Pontus chariots as well. They're going to come around the flank and smash into Uther here. So make no mistake, our left flank here is the target for the enemy team. They are looking to smash our left flank. Make no mistake about that. But here, over on the right flank here, you can see Dionysos there with his flexible new battle formation, this modern way of using pikes and spears there. You can see he's moving his pikemen in there to help Steve. And as I say, I've committed my Spartans there to the attack. But here you can see those Seleucid cataphracts. See those Seleucid cataphracts? They're coming in there now with really well upgraded cataphract. Get ready for this. Bang! As they smash into Uther's forward units there. Now I think Uther's infantry is doing really well to hold so well there. Bearing in mind that they've got Seleucid infantry, those legionnaires attacking them, plus that massive cavalry hit. If you notice out to the left, can you see the red Julii cavalry plus the chariots there moving around our left flank? If you notice here, Uther's moved his cavalry out to try and counter them, but he will be outnumbered there by that Julii cavalry and those chariots. Now Uther's cavalry itself are very well upgraded, and if you notice there, he's not frightened to take on the enemy Julii cavalry, and bang, as he smashes in there. But of course you've got the chariot fear factor out there as well. Okay, remember those chariots take morale away from enemy troops, destabilizing them, making them more susceptible to routing there. As I say, this is a real tussle. You can see Dionysos moving some of his pikemen out there, making Aurelius back his Julii cavalry off. But make no mistake, this left flank of ours is the target for the enemy hit. And as I say, it's where the hammer blows fall in the hardest there. But here you can see I'm having to commit my Spartans there against the Carthage Sacred Band units. Plus I got Pontus coming in on my flank as well. So as I say, and you got chariots coming in there with a big fear factor. Make no mistake there, when those chariots smash in there, they cause a lot of damage and mayhem, plus that fear factor that they bring as well, taking morale away from enemy troops. As I say, Dionysos is doing really good here, helping Steve's units there, bringing reinforcements over there to try and smash into the enemy flank there. But as I say, my Spartans here, not a very good position, I don't think. You can see Dionysos has taken more of his pike units out to the left flank to try and help Uther hold our left flank. Here comes that chariot unit, and bang, as it smashes in there. Make no mistake, that chariot unit's got a big attacking specifications, but it's the fear factor that it brings that causes the biggest problem, I think, taking morale away from our troops there as we're fighting. You can see my Spartans are really in a tussle now with those Carthage Sacred Band moving in on me. Plus, as I say, I got Pontus moving in on me as well with those long pikes. So this is a real tussle here. I've got other Spartan units there trying to hold those Pontus pike units back while I'm sending other units over to try and take on Carthage. There's a run amok chariot there going into the back of Uther's infantry. That's bad luck for us. That run amok chariot, make no mistake, will be causing Uther a lot of casualties. Plus, look at those cataphracts pushing in on Uther's infantry. You've got the red Julii enemy cavalry out there as well, charging into some of Uther's units. Make no mistake, as I say, this left flank of ours is the enemy target. This is where the hammer blow has fallen the hardest. This is what they're trying to smash here, and you can see them. Can you see TR has alt attacked with his cavalry there, those cataphracts using their effective against armor maces there. Okay, so as I say, over here on our right flank, here you can see Steve's troops are very much weakened. Right, you can see some of my Spartan units are starting to rout now. Okay, they fought down to a small amount of men, but they're being inundated by fresh Carthage well upgraded spearmen, plus enemy Pontus pikemen coming in on me as well. So my troops are gradually failing there. But over here you can see, okay, Uther's general's been taken out, and most, if not all, of Uther's infantry has been taken out here. Okay, so for all intents and purposes, our left flank has now been routed. I think Dionysos and Uther's cavalry will probably move over to the right flank now. Okay, so they're going to move over to the right flank to their Macedonian allies, over to Steve. and Dionysus' other pike units, but for all intents and purposes our left flank has now been smashed and broken by a concerted enemy attack. Here comes another chariot unit. If they smash into my Spartans, that could well be the telling factor there. You can see that chariot unit there. Uther's tried to take the sting out of that chariot unit, but that chariot unit's going in and bang as it charges in there. That massive attack specification plus the fear factor. Look at my Spartans starting to rout there from that chariot hit. Steve just charged one of his cavalry units into the rear of the Carthage Sacred Band. There, very well done. But look at my Spartan units starting to rout. There's Uther's 2 cavalry units, and bang! As he smashes into the back of those Sacred Band spearmen there. But as I say, oh my gosh, I think all of my Spartans now, if we look there, including my general, have routed or have started to rout there. Look at the impact of that Julii cavalry charging into the rear of Uther's 2 cavalry units there, both been routed. Okay, so at this stage of the battle, all my army has now been routed there. I think I've got 1 unit left there, but it's going to rout soon. All my archers have been taken out by those 2 fast-moving general units of legions. So now my entire army has been taken out. Steve's got some very, very battle-depleted pike units left. Okay, and all of Uther's infantry has been taken out. So the only capable army we've got left now is Dionysus, is Macedonians. Okay, that's the only capable army that we've got left now. Uther's got a couple of cavalry units left, but as I say, it's Dionysus, is pikemen there, is the only infantry we've got left. Uther's got a couple of battle damaged cavalry units left, but please make a note of those because they could be important during the course of the battle. But as I say, the victorious enemy troops there of Seleucid, Julii and Carthage there are moving forward now. All my guys are dead. Every single soldier, every single archer in my army has now been taken out. All of Uther's infantry has been taken out, and most of Steve's infantry, I believe, has now been taken out or is extremely battle weakened. Okay, here you are. You can see Aurelius wants to chase down Uther's cavalry. Look at those Julii cavalry trying to catch Uther's cavalry. Look, and bang! He's just going to pull back now because obviously he doesn't want any truck with Dionysus is a Macedonian pikeman there, but you could see Aurelius was really trying to chase down Uther's cavalry. But as I say now, all those victorious enemy troops with good morale after killing all of our troops there can now move forward on towards Dionysus, is pikeman there. As I say, I think Steve might have 1 or 2 very battle damaged units left, but the vast majority of the Macedonian pikes you can see there are Dionysus, is pikes there. Okay, you can see Legion there moving his Carthage Sacred Band units forward. I think I've weakened a lot of his units there, and with my Spartans there, and taken a lot of his units out. But make no mistake, the units that he's got left are very powerful and strong, and you can see that the Seleucid general there, TR, is bringing his legions forward as well. So Dionysus now has got to try and sort out some kind of battle formation now to try and repel the enemy attack. And make no mistake there, the enemy will be moving forward, I'm thinking, aggressively against Dionysus here. Dionysus still got some archer units left, and as I say, I think Uther's got 2 or 3 very battle damaged units left. As I say there, I think actually all the pike units that are left are actually Dionysus. I think all of Steve's army has also been taken out. So we've got 3 very battle damaged cavalry units, and Dionysus is pikemen. That's all we've got now against these victorious enemy troops. But if you look at the enemy troops, they are also battle depleted as well. So it'll be interesting to see how well they do. But of course, they've still got that cavalry advantage over us. As I say, we've just got 3 very battle damaged cavalry units of Uther's. As I say here, you can see TR moving his infantry forward there, along with his cavalry, his cataphracts there, looking to get round the flank of Dionysus, is battle formation. As I say, Dionysus, very, very good at micromanagement, seems to have very fast reactions as well, and I think to be a good pike or spear general you need that, good micromanagement skills, but also speed of reaction. Over the years mine slowed a little bit, so I'm not so good with pikes and spears as I might once have been. Okay, so you can see the Carthage Sacred Band moving in there, and the Pontus pikemen, who they're really pushing in on the forward units of Dionysus. But notice Dionysus is double banked, and what I mean by that is he's got a unit right behind that forward unit there, So as that forward unit gets pushed back, the pikes of the unit behind him can start to counter the enemy attack. If you notice here, Dionysos has got a good battle formation here. I think it looks pretty strong to counter cavalry as well. If you notice here, Uther's charges cavalry units out there to hit that one cavalry unit, and bang! As he charges into that Julii cavalry unit there. But if more Julii cavalry units come over there, I think Uther's going to back that cavalry off and get in behind his allies' pikes there. That was a nice aggressive move there by Uther. But here you can see the enemy Carthage Sacred Band have engaged our Macedonian ally, plus TR has got a lot of his infantry units involved there as well, really pushing forward into the Macedonians. I see one Macedonian unit is already routed. You've got the Julii cavalry out on the right flank ready to charge in. As I say, the enemy being very, very aggressive here against Dionysus' pikemen. Just make a note, please, of Uther's Scipii cavalry. Yes, they are battle damaged, but they could prove very, very helpful and maybe even pivotal in this battle here. Okay, that battle, this battle damaged cavalry of Uther's moving around the flank. Now what I'm thinking here is if Uther can get his cavalry round behind, okay, the enemy pikemen and get them over there, say, if he could just position them in there, and once he gets there, smash into the rear of those engaged Sacred Band spearmen. Now if he could do that, that could be a pivotal part of the battle there. Just get in behind there. As I say, Dionysos is committing his pikemen there to countering those Carthage Sacred Band spearmen. But if Uther can get in behind them, even with battle damaged cavalry, I think that could just tip the balance there. You can see TR bringing his cavalry in there as well, trying to counter Uther's Scipii cavalry there. Now watch Uther's cavalry. Look at how battle damaged they are. But even though they're battle damaged, they're really well upgraded. I think that's a Carthage general who's just been taken out, so they lost the morale bonus. Get ready for this cavalry, get ready, and bang! As that smashes in there. A nice hit there, that one cavalry unit that's just taken out 4 Carthage units. Nice hit there by Uther's cavalry. And then you can see Aurelius' cavalry in behind Dionysos, but to what can his cavalry do against those long pikes of Macedon there, especially with someone who's got good micromanagement skills and fast reactions. There you are, Uther just hit the Pontus general there, trying to take the Pontus general out there. There you are, the Pontus general's just been taken out, so they've lost a morale bonus there from the Pontus general. Nice hit there by Uther's cavalry, harassing and haranguing and using his cavalry extremely well. As I say, with the Pontus general out the way there, they've lost a lot of morale that they were getting. I think the Seleucid general is still alive there. I can see the Seleucid general infantry unit still alive there. But now if you notice, can you see Dionysos has turned defence into attack? Can you see he was defending for a long time, but now just at the right time he's advancing forward there. There you go. I think the Seleucid General TR has just admitted defeat there. I think that's what's happened there. They've just admitted defeat. Let's just pause the game for a second here. It looks like our team has managed to go on to win the battle there. As I say, Uther's 2 battle damaged cavalry I think proved a pivotal role, especially in the latter stages of that battle. But let's have a look at the battlefield. Over here on the left flank, where the enemy attack, the hammer blow fell the hardest here, and poor old Uther got smashed by well, so many enemy cavalry and chariots there, plus the Seleucid infantry pushing in on him as well. I think he held extremely well there on that left flank, even with all that that pressure there. But also, don't forget, Dionysos did send some pike units over there to help him there. A little gap of dead there as we move across to the more intense part of the battlefield here, the centre here. Okay, you can see there, if you look closer, you see the red cloaked Spartans. You can always see the dead red cloaked Spartans lying in the snow there. Look at the massive pile of my Spartans there that got taken out by Pontus pikemen, Pontus chariots, and fresh, well upgraded Carthage units there. And as we move across the battlefield there, you can just see the intensity of the fighting here as we move across. This was a real battle of attrition, I think. And as I say, you can see the intensity by the piles of dead, I think, there. So as I say, it's quite a spread out battlefield there. Very intense parts of the battlefield, you can tell by the dead there. Okay, so I think the only enemy units left now are these Aurelius's Julii cavalry. And my guess is that he knows he's not going to be able to do anything against the pikes of Macedon there. So my guess is that he's probably going to admit defeat pretty soon. As I say, at this stage of the battle there, I think the battle's won really. And I always, like we said in other battle videos, let's just admit defeat and get on to the back to the lobby and get another battle hosted there. Let's go up to triple speed there. My guess is there you are, he's just admitted defeat there. So, I hope you enjoyed this battle. I thought it was a really good, cracking battle there. And the first thing I'd like to say is really well done to everybody in the game there. I thought everybody played well there. And as you can see, it was a close victory there. Very close, I thought. And the highest kills, can you guess who that went to? And that went to Dionysos, 1,733 kills there. Really good kills for him, and a really good display of teamwork and modern battle formation use. Okay, so well done to Brotherhood member Barkley Man there. 1,660 kills. Great kills with Pontus. Some people call that a lesser 31k faction. Good kills. Well done to Aurelius. Now remember, Aurelius only had 8 infantry. Okay, Aurelius only had 8 infantry, but look, 1,284 kills. Well done to Legion. I think a lot of his kills would have been our archers. Make no mistake, those 2 fast-moving general armoured units would have killed loads and loads of our archers there. So that would have upped his kills. And well done to TR with Seleucid, his faction of choice. Really well played, guys. Great teamwork, great aggressive attack. That old Spartan army of mine, kills not very good, but I was hit by a lot of enemy units there. Well done to Uther. Probably didn't get the kills that he wanted to there, but I think we must remember that his cavalry at the end of the battle could have proved pivotal to the actual winning of the battle there. So as I say, don't worry about not the kills there. He got hammered on that left flank. Well done to Steve Longshanks, second highest kills in the game, 1,707. And as I say, well done to Dionysos. Not only got the highest kills in the game, but I think you could see the teamwork that he was all over the battlefield with his pikemen there. Really good micromanagement, really good fast reactions there by Dionysos there, and really good showing of how modern battle formations can work. This was a very diverse battle at Pontus, Rome, Carthage and Seleucid in the enemy team, and in our team, Greek cities, Rome, Macedon and Macedon. If you enjoyed this battle, please give us a thumbs up. Please leave a comment. It's always great to read your thoughts on our battles there, and I hope you enjoyed this one. A nice close battle to start 2022. Bye for now.